hate that little button right there.
Y'all seen the NFL schedule video?
He hates the Saints when I see it all in his
You ain't like it? I thought it was funny.
I ain't watched the video because we ain't got no games on TV.
Yeah, we ain't none.
No primetime game.
None. And you brought it up last night. I had to go back and look at it.
First time since 2000.
Man,
That's when we had Aaron Brooks and was on primetime.
Sure. So good.
That's crazy.
Days is gone.
Hey, man.
Gone.
Earn them. Gonna have to earn it, bro.
Hello, meanwhile, Vegas, we got 3.
Come on, man. How many y'all got? 2?
1. I was surprised by that.
What is it, a Thursday or Monday night?
It's a Monday night.
Monday night?
Yeah, I'm surprised.
But y'all usually out. I mean, no, we don't.
No.
Colts fan, Saints fan. So,
Yeah, the coach ain't had nothing since Peyton Manning was there.
and look,
Coach, Saints can't talk. I'm still upset when he passed on to do it. That boy had the most selling, out of all the rookies, he sold the most jerseys 2 days after the draft.
already.
They could have made bread off of that. No, but the Cleveland Browns gonna get it. And what they gonna do with it?
I think the only reason why the Browns jumped up, they traded up to get him.
Yeah.
Because they know Philly was going to get him. And Philly good for taking black quarterbacks.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
I just don't understand why they waited so long. Because some of them scrubs, they went to Napoleon.
Man.
They ain't been in the 5.
Tyler Shock.
Every Saturday night I would stay up and watch the door, man, take a beat. Because that line went about Jack.
Every game.
Every game.
That boy line trash.
Man, had us up to
Prime trying his damnest to get somebody there.
1, 2 in the morning watching football, bro. I ain't never stayed with that late watching football. 1, 2 in the morning, they in triple overtime. I gotta watch.
Yes, gotta watch it.
He gonna make it happen. He did make it happen every time.
Every time.
All right, we ready, fellas?
Yeah.
All right, we are live over there on YouTube, by the way. So YouTube is up and rolling. I be feeling bad every time y'all post something from Twitter whenever we get ready to record, because that's my Twitter phone. So I always see it after we done.
Look, I see Twitter when it after it's done too. I'm probably trying to put it on IG or something. I put it on there and I put perspective on there. And I thought I got everybody signed in. I look back at it a couple hours later. Oh, I didn't put that in there. I didn't put that on there either. Dang, I didn't put it on there either.
Just share the story. I hate it.
The funniest thing is that they're saying Pope is from South Korea.
He is. They said he black too. Well,
He is.
black guy.
Yeah, he is.
They said his grandparents are Haitians.
What his name is again? Provost? Freeland?
Yeah. And we went to school with like
A
3
lot
sets of
of-
pre-rolls and Ash.
Do you expect the podcast to one out?
No, just perspective
Okay, that's all I have
on Instagram, right?
I'm saying we live on YouTube. That's what I'm saying.
On YouTube is Collective Studios.
That's probably going on too.
This month is going by fast.
What a year that is.
We're on this almost into halftime of the year. Alright, TJ, you said you're doing 7 minutes more.
Almost done too.
I want to play some music so bad, but YouTube is gonna clip it.
Oh my god.
Get out of here. Well, that was the moment I was laughing at the pod again. Listening to that.
Come on, last night.
We was talking about songs that can go away and never come back.
Oh,
Alright, so Mr. J, we had this I think TJ presented this question to us. So while they finish up the promo part,
Right.
what's this, and then this isn't even like a part of the show. What's the song that you like could never hear again? You could be okay with, like you overheard it.
Like a classic.
Who let the dogs out?
Oh, yeah, that's one. That's one. Yeah, that's one of those ones.
Who let the dogs out?
And I would be A-okay with never hearing it. I promise I'd be okay with it.
Never again.
They still play that at LC basketball games.
Do they?
Yes, bro.
I remember when I was working on Q93, that Macarena song. See, I was young then. I was in elementary.
That was the bus.
That was the bus. That was right.
The old thing.
Yeah. Macarena song.
South Ellen, that joint was
Yeah.
That song and movie, it was like, it wasn't Mardi Gras Mambo, but it was something along the lines of that.
Mm-hmm.
Shaggy's, it wasn't me.
Was it me?
Yeah.
I'm done with that one too.
I didn't know Jamal Murray, as cold as he is, man. He really keeping them in the game, and they shouldn't have sweat if OKC was on their shit.
Yeah.
Joker, I don't know what's wrong with him.
I
He
think
in the back of the rim. I mean,
I
breaks.
think he won out.
Yeah, I think this whole series tied him out. Big time.
This is the first time where I've seen him really just like look out of it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's a child.
But you know, I haven't been impressed with Shay's performance. I really haven't. I thought it was gonna be a lot better than this.
Yeah, take some of the hit off me.
But I mean, that's just me. I didn't see any spectacular.
Good TJ, good one.
Yes, sir.
Right. Microphone check over there, come on.
Yep. Hey,
Microphone
Yes,
check,
sir.
TJ. Microphone check.
Just 1, 2.
Right. And then tell them we'll split this one first. And
the pause was so pause.
Welcome back to another episode of The Perspective Podcast. I am your host, Marty Lee, and over here directly to my right, I got Tevin in the house tonight. Tevin, what's happening?
What's that, bro?
Another day it was special edition.
Yeah.
This ain't another. This ain't just one of those ones. This is a special edition. Directly in front of me, we got Lucky 7 all the way down there at the end. L7, what it do?
Hey man, how y'all doing, man? We here, we live. It's a special day. I love it.
You better believe that. And TJ is also in front of me. TJ, what's happening?
Yes, sir. Skis, happy Thursday. Happy Thursday.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, this is episode 60 of The Perspective Podcast, and always we are recording live from Collective Studios and over here on the east side, Studio E to be exact. Before we go any further, please subscribe to our YouTube page, YouTube channel at Collective Studios 318, and make sure you follow our Instagram page at the.perspectivepod. Fellas, episode 60, like I say, and we have a very, very, very special guest here in the building tonight.
Appreciate it.
And you can hear the voice. It's a very iconic voice. It's only one of those voices. It's like really one of them. Let's see here. I had a bunch of stuff written down, but I think I'm just gonna freestyle this. But because this is this man's voice has been on the radio for, I would say, it's for sure 15 plus years, maybe even 20 plus. One of one, and he is by far the voice of hip hop in Central Louisiana, and the voice rings bells from the top to the bottom of the state. He's a local legend, hip hop legend, and mentor, if you ask me. You know what I'm saying? So, ladies and gentlemen, viewers and listeners, welcome to the studio, Jay Superstar Stevens.
Thank you. How you guys doing this afternoon?
Just doing all right. How about you? How you feeling today?
I'm vibing. I really like this vibe you guys got in here, man.
You see what we putting together?
Yeah. I need to talk to the owner and tell the owner, man, what's going on in there, man.
Exactly. Hey, man, tell him,
popping.
Tell him, drop the reference. Tell him, we doing some positive things over here.
Yes, you are.
You know what I'm saying? So, we're gonna go ahead and just jump straight into it.
Okay.
As you are a DJ, you're a hip hop figure, you're a hip hop legend. So we're gonna just jump straight into it. Like I say, I'm gonna kick it off. So what led you to DJing? And like, of course, I figured it's a love for music, but like, what got you into like professional DJing?
Well, I started, not to put a date on it, but 1987 was the year, way before y'all was started.
Well,
I was here.
So in 1987, I was down at Nicholls State University down in Thibodaux, Louisiana. Yep. And they had a campus radio station, KNSU, and I won a contest as a freshman in college. I was working at night on the radio station on campus, and the local rock station heard my voice on the station, and the station was KXOR, and that's how I got really into it.
come on.
Yeah. And I went to that station at night because it was a rock station, and I don't need to say nothing about our melon skin color.
That's right.
But rockers are of different persuasion.
That's right.
So I used to work overnight because back then they didn't have computers for music and that kind of stuff. So I was working from 6 to go back to school.
The grind.
Long nights and get up in the morning, go back and eat.
Right, yep. That's how I got into it. Yep.
So, all right. So this is kind of like a piggyback question off of that. So, it was a rock station. So you originally started in rock?
Yeah. Well, I had a hip hop show. We played Run DMC, Public Enemy, unedited versions on the campus radio station because the campus radio station only went 2 or 3 blocks.
Okay.
People going to hear, people could hear it in their dorm room and that kind of stuff. And from time to time, man, we slide that Public Enemy in there and people yeah, so
y'all get risky with some NWA?
Nah, we don't want to go out there. That was getting too hard. Yeah, we slide in a little PE back in the day. And to calm them down, because the station manager was a senior, and he wasn't into rap at all. He was all, classical songs, top 40 songs. So to calm him down, man, we started playing the Beastie Boys' Brass Monkey. Yeah. And then he was cool.
Monkey. That'll get it.
That'll drop the temp in the room. For sure. So did you ever have anybody that just like inspired you to DJ?
Not really. I remember growing up, man, in a small town east of here in southeast Louisiana, Franklinton, Louisiana. There was a black guy who did radio, had a great deep voice, but he did gospel on the station, on an AM station. And I used to listen to his voice back in the day. And I said, hey, that's pretty cool. And I had a chance to go meet him one day, and he was saying, ain't no money in it, that kind of stuff. Just trying to discourage people, not to really get into it about the grind. But I come to find out he was hustling the churches anyway. So, that hustle.
See, my niece, she used to do the AM gospel channel here.
Right.
And
So your aunt Niecy, Denise Seals Thomas?
no, Cynthia.
Cynthia. Oh, okay. Yeah.
That was my aunt.
Really?
That's my aunt.
Yeah.
She hustling churches too?
No. She's on the gospel channel here in the city. And it was just like, that's wild because I used to always pass that building up and I didn't know for a while until one day I heard her.
Right.
And I was like, Mom, this woman on the radio show who sound like Aunt Niece.
All right.
Well, it should, it is. So I when you said that, I was like,
Yeah.
no,
That's a legal hustle, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right, of course, like being a DJ, do you have a Mount Rushmore list of DJs?
Not really DJs. There's program directors I used to look up to who put on radio stations that was against the odds. So like Q93 in the early 90s, mid 90s in New Orleans. That station used to be hot. WYLD, a program director down there by the name of DJ Stevens. But when it comes to like DJs doing clubs, naturally y'all probably heard the music of Crack the Cat. Yeah, I mean, they worked together for years. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace, right.
Yeah, so we worked together for years. He had everyone around here really into that screwed and chopped stuff. And other parts of the state wasn't even feeling it. Shreveport didn't know what was going on. People used to call the radio station saying, "Hey man, something wrong with y'all station, man. This song's slow." I said, "No, bro, y'all ain't sipping on nothing. That's what it is." That's what it is. Yeah.
So it makes sense. It makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh, my drink.
Right.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Honey.
So down south from South Louisiana, we got DJ WD down there. It's a lot of guys that really know how to really turn the crowd up. But Central Louisiana, since COVID, doesn't even have a club for us no more.
Yeah, right. Oh,
And we got a generation of kids now. There is, we're coming up 10 years. A kid that was born, in 2020, 5 years old now.
Right.
Think about it.
Right.
There's gonna be a generation of people in Central Louisiana never experienced the club environment unless they went somewhere.
So
When you sit back and think about it.
it's a bit
We
of
always travel. We always travel to go party, go do something
Right.
somewhere else. We never have it in the
You
city.
never have it in the city. And I kind of hate that part of it. I mean, I don't know what's the politics of it. It's just a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes that we don't even be talking about. We don't want to incriminate nobody.
Stay away from that.
we have another podcast here in the studio for that.
All right. So, as a DJ,
Mm-hmm.
can you describe like what you think is like a DJ's responsibility as far as like on the radio or even in the clubs? Like, what is the responsibility of a DJ?
Knowing what the crowd wants. Because, speaking of Pratt again, when he had the club there, there used to be the old bowling alley. The name never changed several times. But,
Strawberries.
it was so many different times. He used to stand on the stage and I would walk in and see how he doing. We'd chop it up for a minute. And if he seen people at the bar, he would get mad. Not because he thought they was bored or he's working his workers with his drinks too much. He would get upset because they wasn't on the floor dancing and people wasn't doing that kind of stuff. So he would always think you got to be in tune to what people want, in this generation now, me per se, if it weren't for TikTok, Instagram, and these dance challenges, I don't even think radio would be even relevant. Because now radio used to lead the new music.
Yeah.
Until Eric and Marty started getting a hold of them. Mixtapes y'all used to bring by the house all the time.
It was just all mixtapes. It was like from livemixtapes.com.
Right.
It was the blogger.
Yeah.
Napster,
That Napster
LimeWire.
all that stuff.
That's my favorite.
Yeah. So we started seeing things change that way, but radio was able to keep up with it. But now, if you don't know what the youngsters really want to with these dance challenges, and naturally now we used to follow Billboard charts. Now Billboard has a part of their chart that's strictly TikTok songs.
Wow.
Yeah, that's how the younger generation really wants things right now. And if you want to be in tune to them, you gotta be on this.
Almost like quick and easy.
Yeah.
Well, I guess piggyback off that. I mean, what are your thoughts on hip hop today?
I think it's in good shape. I just don't like the way the Megan Thee Stallions glow. I just, some of that stuff is a little bit too raunchy. I don't want to sound like Deb Anthony. Walker's mama can't stand none of them. I don't want to sound bad as her, but
No, you sound like him.
I call it coochie rap.
Yeah,
Rapping about the private areas.
right. Well, we gotta blame. Well, it all started with that young lady in New York who was popping it in the club. Her teeth was messed up at the time. Y'all know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And she was the trend that really popped that off, and that's what they following now. So, yeah, tell me, come on.
So she
I mean, I can't think of it no other way. But that's all they talk about in the songs.
Well, see, that's
Even Lil' Kim though was classy with it.
Yeah, I'm about to say she was.
Yeah, those city girls. And now what's coming out in this trial, man, you start to think about that one city girl who was Diddy. Like, wow. What's really going on?
She's really doing all that.
You saw she trying to attach herself to Shador. You know.
Probably no. You don't send you to Cleveland where she can't touch you or want to, my boy.
Probably living to not over here, good.
Yeah, man. So, I mean, but I think it's going to continue to evolve. Because, when I ride in my car and I listen to some old school rap stuff, if it's old stuff, my kids said it earlier, they'll listen to me turn that off, man. Because they don't understand the old stuff of Cool J or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But lyrically, they was really writing raps.
Right.
Now, you got some stuff that's being said. Just being said.
Snitching on yourselves, but again, like we said, like the evolution of it, harmonizing has become like a big thing.
Right.
And the people that you do find that do actually write their own raps, so like you have to go discover them almost like digging in the crate.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
It's kind of tricky.
Yeah, it's real tricky these days. But congratulations to Kendrick Lamar. He's getting his just due.
Give his flowers.
Give his flowers while he's here. Yeah, because it's been a long road for that young man.
It really has.
Yeah. And on the West Coast, I have cousins out there who've been on about it for years. But when he really started popping nationwide, it was really big for him.
I still got a Section 80 shirt that he autographed back in 2011. I went to see him.
Wow.
And walked right up to him, bought my shirt, and I was just like, yo, just sign this so I can get up out of here, because the crowd started
Right.
It was at a warehouse.
Come on.
That's how it was.
Man, don't never get rid of that thing.
Oh, no, it's right there. My daughter asked, could she wear one day? I said, no, man, no. Just sit right here.
Yeah, that's big, man. That's big.
Sir.
And I think it's kind of like to Tevin's question, like them. It may also answer that question too. It's like how you say your cousin knew about Kendrick.
Right.
We knew about Kevin Gates.
Right.
And then whenever Kevin Gates had a long road from the head to my toes clean to I'm a grinder, and then he went to prison. And then he came back out. He got hot again, went back to jail, and then came back out and was even hotter. And then I have family in Ohio and Chicago. They was like, I love Kevin Gates. I love Kevin Gates. Something like, y'all remember Kevin Gates? And that was kind of at that breaking point of 2013, 2014.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's the power of radio. That's the real power of radio. So of course, growing up, we all remember Mellow Moods, the Sunday night show. Mellow Moods, the Quiet Storm vibe that it had and everything. So obviously, you are a big fan of R&B.
Yes.
So what is wrong with R&B today, and can it get fixed?
I think R&B is it's stuck right now because locally on radio stations they are feeling safe playing Southern soul songs, Zydeco songs, because you got the bike riders, the trail riders. They're not into no slow dragging no more. They don't even know what that word means.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, I just don't know where it's really gonna go. Now, our station has an urban AC station because we're an HD station. We have HD 1, 2, and 3. So HD 2 is adult R&B, but it does fairly well, but you know, where you gonna find the next Teddy Pendergrass? The next Key Sweat. Well, Key Sweat on the radio. He ain't even making the records.
He was a concert, right?
He was on the
Paragon.
Yeah, he can't stay at the Paragon. You know what I'm saying?
At all.
Yeah, I think every couple months he was
Right.
out there.
Exactly.
But he actually even said it. I've been to a Key Sweat concert before,
Right.
and my sister just said the same thing. They said he loves it here. Like,
Right.
He literally loves going to the Marshville and just chilling.
Just
He
chilling.
loves it.
Doing shows.
I didn't think he would actually do it.
Like Frankie Beverly. Like we thought,
Right.
like growing up, we thought Frankie Beverly was from Louisiana.
Yeah,
Right.
And I didn't know until Recipe Frankie Beverly, he just passed last year, but like, we didn't know he was from Philly. Like,
Well, that's because I'm sure either your mom or dad had one of those albums with him in front of the Singer Theater in New Orleans.
but we remember like Queuing on the Red
Right.
back in the day,
Yeah.
and then all the different events that would go on downtown. So we always naturally thought
He was
He was
from
from
Louisiana.
Louisiana, right?
Yeah.
I think the day Big Daddy passed, that's when we found out.
Yes.
Like, he's from Philly?
And
Nah, man, it's gotta be a misprint.
It was one of ours, boy.
that's
Right.
whenever people were like, of course, the weekend he passed, the Eagles and the Saints played,
Right.
and people were like, oh, well, the Saints won the Frankie Beverly Bowl. You know what I'm saying? like, you know what I'm saying? But
I'm sorry, I missed that one.
go ahead, Zeb.
Oh, okay. So, I got another question. So, like, what is their favorite hip hop story you have, like that you've been a part of, that you witnessed, experienced? Like, what's your favorite story that you can tell on camera?
Right now, I'm gonna tell you something that happened here in Alexandria. Because the first rap concert I went to was Salt and Pepper in Thibodeau.
Okay.
Yeah,
Hey,
that was the first one I went to. But here's the biggest one, I think. You guys know what Club Bracey's used to be.
Yes. Rest in peace, Club Races, right there.
Yes, right there on 3rd Street. So, back at the time, we had just put a station on 106.9. It was KISS 106.9. And we had the inroads to this group called the Entourage. The Entourage came with the song Out of Lafayette. The group was from Lafayette. And the song was Money High.
Okay.
And
Oh, okay.
I knew that was going.
we brought him to town, and I'm not lying to you guys. The station, we put it on the radio. He thought it was going to be, Mr. Bracey said, yeah, you think it's cool? Because he heard the song. He wasn't really into the hip-hop scene. You think anybody going to come? I really don't think he's going to come. And I'm not exaggerating. From the Funhouse South,
What's the fun house?
the Funhouse is across the
Down
street
by
from Bracey.
Braces. Down
On the right, on the
Chord
right
studio.
side of Bracey, like you read past Bracey's, the laundromat, that store right
Okay,
there.
laundromat.
On the right side is the fun house, Pookie's Place.
Yeah.
From Pookie's Place south, it was a traffic jam and everything. And you know Bracey, it's only so big.
Yeah.
And we had people standing outside. We had to open the doors to the club so they could hear the guys perform.
Oh, wow.
It was crazy.
That's some
No
That's a moment
issues.
right there.
No issues. Everybody went home with no problems.
Man.
That was one of the biggest things ever. Another thing is DJ Flex, who I work with at 987, tells me at the time, Master P, I didn't go, but Master P came to the Coliseum. Somebody didn't have his money. So the bus was in the parking lot. It was P, Silver Shaka, he had everybody with him. He went inside the Coliseum. That's why the Coliseum to this day have a bad rep. People don't want to go to shows here because they have seen artists show up in the parking lot. Some promoter ain't had somebody's money, somebody had enough security, and see buses drive back off.
God. I used to hear stories about it too. I used to hear stories about it.
Pratt was good friends with one of Master P's managers at the time, and the after party was supposed to be in the VFW. So Pratt said, "Bring P down here to the VFW." They brought him down to the VFW, but they didn't perform. They had signed something. Yeah, but that's why the Coliseum to this day has a bad rap. I don't care what name they put on it. I don't care what kind of paint they slap on it. It's never gonna pop.
I just saw the other day that it has a name. Like,
Yes. So about their name
The
right.
Board Earl, the lawyer.
Yeah.
I had my own I guess I can say conspiracy theory about how the Coliseum actually does things and who's all behind it. But it's just so much that I feel that spot, that place could be put to so much of
Better
better
use.
use.
Better use than monster trucks and.
I mean, but even
shows.
with the monster trucks, brings money in, and just like with baseball with the city, the city is a baseball and softball phenom. Like it's a town that is built on those things, and they make so much money every year.
Right.
He's City Town, by the way.
Man. My spot gone, man. Spot gone.
I just really think that this place.
Everything. So what we gonna do now? I mean, they wasn't using it, granted, but
Right.
what's about to pop up right here?
So, through the 90s to present day, hip hop has had a lot of different sounds. And, like, you know, whether if it's like the boom bap, you know, whether if it's like what people consider the golden age of hip hop, which is like mid 90s up to maybe like early 2000s, like 03.
Right.
Of course, you have the crunk era, the snap era, and so on and so on and so on.
Yeah, the crunk area wasn't that big, though. I don't think so. It was big in the Memphis area. You know what I'm saying? Atlanta a little bit. But then you got the era when Future and the Migos came out with that offbeat sounding stuff.
Yeah.
You know? I started listening to it. I said, what's wrong with this song?
The trap sound. And then wait until you hear some Detroit stuff. It's but
Absolutely wild. Absolutely wild.
So just throughout the time, like, have you had a favorite era of like a sound, like production wise?
I would have to go with the mid-90s. Early 2000s as well. Yeah, that was nice stuff.
I always said that I felt like that the conspiracy behind the Y2K bug.
Right.
I always felt like that people put out their best material at that time. It was
So
just
the
like,
world's going to
everything. Like,
Yeah.
the world's gonna end. Let's just give everybody the best stuff that we got right now.
Yeah.
So movies, music, everything was like a jam. So for
Right.
that to be considered like the golden era, it's just
Mhm.
like, oh, so we survived, but we can still make music. Let's hit them with some more. Let's hit them with some more.
Hit them with another one.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So at one point you had mentioned like Central Louisiana and Shreveport here in like the screw and chop stuff, whatever.
What do you think? Because I feel like that Central Louisiana has some of the best hip hop artists out here, and just plain artists in the city that people don't get a chance to get discovered because we are so small.
Yeah.
What do you think about the difference in the sound between us and the rest of the state?
Well, Shreveport and Alexandria, those rappers or those who rap, that sound is what about the same. Now, if you go down south around New Orleans, you got some guys down there still trying to rap over bounce beats. You know what I'm saying? So I always think that Alexandria always has a unique sound, but for some reason, but this goes on in Houston, Texas, and everybody know how big Houston is. Lil Kiki don't get the love he gets in Houston like he do in Alexandria.
It's different here.
Yeah, absolutely.
You see what I'm saying?
ESG hustle.
ESG. You go find Bun B. You go talk to Bun B at Trill Burgers right now. He'll say how much fun he had in Lake Charles than he would have in Houston.
Right.
So I think the young rappers who's coming up, they got to remember, man, they got to get outside their own area if they're going to want pop.
I definitely agree with that.
Yeah.
Definitely agree with that.
Right.
I think they always get stuck on win your city over first.
Yes.
Then,
No, you got to come back to the city. That's what Dix had to do.
Yes.
That's what Bootsy had to do. And now Bootsy don't even want to go to Baton Rouge. Say it to your face.
In my gay community,
That's what I absolutely love about like Boosie in particular, like you say.
Right.
You know it as the chillin' route.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The chillin' circuit.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? But a lot of people don't follow that blueprint. But there's people that Boosie would go to Bunkie, Cotton Club.
Oh, you see him down there in Simsport.
Yeah, Marshall. You know what I'm saying?
And he would get love, and then you leave the club again nice, and man, I got to let it down the big raggedy.
you know what I see when I'm passing through for work? I'm like, man,
Yeah.
And so earlier you did speak about DJ Scree, and it's crazy that we literally do have a question about that on here. But can you just kind of speak about like Pratt and Screw's relationship, if they did have one, or just like the SUC and just the whole DJ Scree sound?
Well, yeah,
And
naturally, Pratt had a relationship with those guys because he used to go over there. It didn't matter if some guys like Walson is. You know, them guys.
Yeah.
He pick up the phone and say, "Hey man, I need a show Friday night." They would just come. Before Flip got hot, Flip would come. Big Mo. I mean, he had a relationship with all those guys, and it was all because they knew he would as a former co-worker of ours, and he's still in the radio business, Wade Hampton would say, Pratt got everybody hypnotized on this fruit stuff. And it was working. It was really working. Yeah.
Even the commercials was like,
I can tell you plenty of times we was looking at somebody, hey, come on, cook. Well, the drinks are stiff and the girls are thick. I mean, it was always something strong. Man, nickel drinks for a dollar. You know what I mean?
So naturally, Screw and Michael Watts both always showed love for Pratt. You know what I'm saying? Because they knew what he was doing here. And when he would go over to Houston, they sometimes back then, because they wasn't downloading things on our phone back then, you had to go get the record.
Yeah.
And they would say, hey man, we got this song, man. We're gonna hold you one till Friday, and Pratt was just getting his couple ride over there.
Love
Yeah.
relationships.
Relationship. Yeah, that was just love
different
back
type of
then.
networking.
That's the word.
That's face card and handshake. You know, that's good business. Like I definitely remember that because whenever like all those legends would come to town, you know, of course, you know, my older brother, my brother's 40. I'm 32. Rick is 44.
Right.
So that's Rick's middle of his like senior year of high school. You know what I'm saying? So I remember Club Strawberry.
Right.
Because it was Club Strawberry here, and wasn't there a Club Strawberry in Opelousas?
Yeah, it was Opelousas.
Yeah, so like I would always hear about him and his friends going to both of those spots,
yeah.
and I'd be like, man, like they making a trip to Opelousas every single weekend, but I didn't know about Strawberry here until I got older, right? But I often remember him talking about, man, Lil Kiki and I think it was ESG. They got into this huge like freestyle battle because they were often arguing about who's the freestyle king. You know what I'm saying? Or it might have been Flip. But it was.
And they were freestyle on stage. That would be like memorable stuff. People didn't have cell phones back then. Yeah, we just walk around there with camcorders, but you know, that was somebody in their crew.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I love how some of those videos are slowly starting to get converted over to digital format because there's actually footage just came out of Pimp C and Bun at Strawberry.
Come on.
Yeah, I gotta see. I gotta send it to you. Yeah, so
gotta be fire.
Yeah, so I just want to know about that because I grew like DJ Scree's music was the first music that like I really gravitated to. Because that's what was pop and DJ Scree was being played in my household. Right. You know what I'm saying? So you know what I'm saying? So even from my mom, she was listening to pop, and of course her R&B and pops was on like Southern Soul, but my older brother was on DJ Scree. But go ahead, DJ.
Yeah, so from your point of view though, can you speak about DJing from the yesteryears of today? I don't want to just say like new and old or yesteryears actually sound like disrespectful, but it just went from like the DJs being like the most important part of like a house party or a club scene to now almost being like you said, anybody can kind of do it now. They got Serato and stuff like that.
Yeah, anybody can really do it now, but it takes a unique person to really, if they're really gonna be liked. Are they going to be disliked and how they handle that dislike? It's going to take a different kind of person. You got to have somebody who can let some water run off your back. But you can't make everybody happy. Yeah, I'm sure you all know that. You can't make everybody happy. So if somebody, we've seen a lot of guys come into the game and they get into their feelings and they fan out. So if you get into it, you got to really stay determined. I've been blessed enough to be in a situation where I really. You know, I've been blessed to be able to hang around this long as I have. Because I've been with my current company since 1996.
Wow. Yes, sir.
So, you gotta be tough skin, my dad would say. Somebody gotta be a tough skin. And I don't know, the younger generations coming up, they get behind those screens and I call them Twitter fingers. Yeah. Right. But then when they get face to face with somebody, they quiet as a mouse.
Right. People always do be dope on social media, but nothing in person.
Yeah, when you see them face to face, they ain't got nothing to say. So,
the screens did that. So what about, since you've been, like you said, with the same company for almost 30 years, like what's a lost art in radio that you would like to see come back?
More community involved. Because I don't know, because people relied on the COVID situation and got into isolation, but it seems like, you know, people just put something on the radio now and think people just don't come. Well, no, it's just not that simple no more. The radio station, the TV station, they need to go out there as well in the community and say, hey, this is going on today. Y'all need to come on out here and take a part of it. And they're not usually really, I don't know, people don't want to use the medium, or Facebook has made it so simple. Oh, I can just go live. Hey, you got 50 followers, man.
Right.
You ain't in everybody's car right now.
Not at all.
You know?
Absolutely true.
Yeah, so I think that's something that radio and TV need to get back to if we're going to be relevant, is really get involved into our local communities.
I respect it. I do have a question, like the club scene. We were just watching on the TV, we had a couple DJs is going through a playlist and everything like that. Do you like the multiple DJs in the night spots, or what do you prefer, like a house DJ? Somebody just gonna play, one DJ just gonna play songs all throughout?
I like to, because DJs have different flavors. So if you ever notice, if somebody says Friday night, a club owner say Friday night got so and so, Saturday night got so and so. Why is Friday night bigger than Saturday night?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But if you put team them two together, hey man, you play from 7 to 9, you play from 9 to 12. First of all, competition won't happen between them two.
Yes.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? That's gonna make the club better.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It's just like being on the football field. You know, iron sharpens iron.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So I think that like multiple situations make the club even better.
Absolutely. I agree with that.
I was on the fence about that. I was kind of like, I don't know, because I never even experienced like that, like especially like in one night type of thing.
Right.
I've always just been to like just knowing one DJ is going to be there, but again, I haven't been to a club in I don't know how long.
Right,
These guys don't have one here, so I can
Mhm.
go and just do it now. I'll just go to a bar and chill.
Right. But see, I just really think if we had a spot, I think, you know, the same, if somebody have 3 DJs, you know, it should be no big problem that night. Yeah. And then rotate them. Because, you know, whoever starts off going to say, oh, man, you got it when so-and-so got there.
Yeah.
So you start, tomorrow night, you be at that spot. You move them around. So the whole time you got competition moving.
I say with that, we'll say with a lot of DJs, I guess you gotta know how to DJ,
Right.
and your role as what DJ is, like say first, second, or third. So you gotta understand that, coming from the three DJs format, you gotta know which one are you, how you performing, and I mean, like I said, iron sharpens iron.
Right.
So understanding that, okay, it's gonna be competition, but let's not get everybody off beat so much from one DJ to the next.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's flow and
Have a flow, yeah.
and then keep it going.
Right.
I didn't see a lot of that when I was actually
In
looking
club
up.
scene?
Yeah. I mean, I went to a couple clubs in Dallas, and I think that's why I actually seen it was in Dallas.
Right.
And the 2 times I seen it, one time was really good.
And one time
Another time was like,
real bad.
I'm ready to leave. Like, like, why is this playing? And it was a bad experience. I mean, it was a good night, but bad experience with the DJs. And I just see that being like, sometimes they can really mess up the flow.
So Coco Pellis and
Coco Pellis.
Man, I
Coco
heard
Pellis
that
in
why.
Shreveport, okay? So that's a young man, me and him have been good friends for years, Bebe. He used to drive out of Dallas and go to Coco Pellis. I said, man, what you coming back to Shreveport tonight for? He's like, Dallas, Texas. Man, he tell me, no, bro, the people in Dallas don't party like Coco Pellis used to. You know, back in the heyday. And to this moment, it didn't matter who he brought with him DJing. It could have been DJ Breeze, Yoshi. It didn't matter who was in. As long as he grabbed the microphone and started talking crazy on the mic, and something was playing, the party was hype.
Yes, true.
Yeah.
I remember.
I love going to the club. I say when I talk about going to the club, that was my favorite club to go to.
Right.
You know, like man, I would spend all my night on the road back.
Right.
Man, lit, have a good time.
And you gotta stop by the little spot and get your little fish plate on the way
Of
home.
course, absolutely. See?
Yeah.
Culture.
And what blew my mind, Marty, was the first time I went there, the place that was selling the food was closed at the time. So it was like 12 o'clock, and then all of a sudden I started noticing the building had lit up, and you start smelling food. I said, what's going on here? He said, oh man, when they come out the club, he's gonna make his lit.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it was planning, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Everybody was in cahoots to make some money that night.
That's
That's what we need to get back to.
Yeah, everybody got to shake each other's hand and understand
Right.
what it is.
Know what their role is.
Right.
Your role is to have the fish ready
Yes.
at 2 o'clock.
They come out drunk and everything. Everybody have a good time.
That's your
Oh,
role.
the chicken truck outside of Mona's. You know
Yeah.
it's your role.
You know your role.
I think I'm going there when we leave here.
And it's like I said, it's coaches. And it's dope.
That's it.
That's right. And kind of like to TJ's point with his question, I was on the fence about the DJ thing too,
Right.
like the multiple DJs in one night, because I first saw it whenever I was in college in Lafayette, and I saw, I believe in one night it might have been Chris Major, it might have been DJ Shad, and it might have been Matches, and maybe not in that order, but what bled my ears is the fact that 2 out of 3 played maybe like 5 of the same songs. I'm like, oh, like now maybe I'm the problem because I've been here for 3 hours. You know what I'm saying? So maybe I'm the problem, right? But it's so much more music to pick and choose from in your sets. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. I guess.
Well, then again, you don't know what the club owner had told him either.
Well, that night.
I never thought about that.
That night, in particular, a few fights happened during Shad's set.
Okay.
And
So he was playing that hood stuff?
Shad is yes.
Careful.
Yes. You know, long story short, yes, because Shad originally went to Southern. He's from New Orleans, but he went to college in Southern, right? He dropped out, and I remember whenever Shad. I met Shad through my barber. My barber and Shad, they were best friends. They were the same auto together.
Okay.
Of course, Shad dropped out of something, and I remember the day Shad moved to Lafayette, I saw Shad bringing all his DJ equipment into Darius' apartment.
Okay.
He was like, yeah, bro, I'm trying to, just trying to find a spot where I can DJ, blah, 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 in between. 2 weeks later, he's at Club Shakers, right? Fast forward some months later, Shad is in that, I'm talking about Shad has this place rocking. Like, I'm talking about, like, Matches or Major. Chris Major played, like, a lot of, like, Atlanta stuff and Philly stuff, so Chris Major actually had a relationship with Meek Mill and Chino and Snoop. So he had relationships with them. So he played a lot of like Northeast stuff. So that was his thing. Shad would play down south. So he playing Boosie, he playing Webby, he playing Mystical, he playing the street shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? The shit that, y'all know the shit I play. You know what I'm saying? So, and then like 3-4 fights broke out in Shad's set. So whenever Shad came off stage, he was like, Marty, like I just got this like crazy text from the owner. He was like, you never coming back to DJ at my club.
Right,
You played all this, blah, 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 and now I got all these cases, blah, 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 in between. He was like, bro, like, was I going that hard? I was like, shit, I had fun. I had fun and all that. The women that was with me, they had fun too.
I'm about you and yours, but me and mine.
But another question that I have is like, what we're doing right now with podcasting. Has podcasting hurt the radio business? Or
Not at all.
Radio industry?
Not at all. I mean, there's enough out here for everybody to get some. Yeah, I just don't think a lot of, I noticed on the TV side, sports side, they're gravitating more towards the podcasting or they feel more comfortable doing it. A lot of people that, a lot of DJs that's on the radio feel uncomfortable in front of cameras. Yeah, it's a little bit different for them. Because you think about it, they were behind a microphone for years. And now you want to put something on. We used to go live when Speedy and I was doing our morning show. We used to go live on Facebook, but we only would do it when somebody was in the studio. We wouldn't go live when me and him and just talking around. You know what I'm saying? Pause.
Well played,
So, but hold on, but I'm sorry. Why was that though? Like, why would you only choose to do it when the guests were?
The guests were in there.
Yeah.
Well, we thought it'd be more beneficial to the guests, especially if there was a client of ours. You know, to say, hey, we're also live on Facebook. You can see him right now.
Okay.
Like, and it was generating phone calls, or they was inboxing us through Facebook. That's what we was using. Yeah, trust me, it was a reason.
Understood.
Yeah.
So speaking on that, what's your relationship with the DJs around the city? Like,
I get along with everybody, man. I ain't got no problems with nobody. Nobody got no problems with me, man. There used to be a time somebody, or T. Bigham, shout out to T. Bigham, who was the program director over at Mix 939. It used to be a time I would get a song before he would, or he'd get a song before I would. You know, we'd call each other and say, man, I got this download if you want it. And, you know, to share stuff now. It's open market now. It's so easy for everything.
So you feel like, I mean, this is about that question. So you feel like it's easier now to get new music or get music?
Yes. The hardest part is for a radio station is decipher what you gonna really play. Because there's a lot of stuff out there you can play that don't make sense. And there's some stuff out there that you're nuts if you're not playing. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, my next question is, well, how much longer do you think you're gonna be DJing? Like,
Oh, I'm trying to hang around, man, at the radio station till at least 5 more years, and I'm out.
you gonna give it up just completely?
Only 5 more?
Yeah, about 5, 4 or 5, 7. That's enough, man.
So you leave the LeBron leave.
Yeah.
The goal's going out the door.
I can't see LeBron hanging around no 4 more years.
I can't either, but
I mean,
if he wanted to, if he wanted to, but yeah.
if he can still put up 25 and 5.
But he's losing. I mean, he's losing though, man.
Hey, man,
my
it's a team game. Remember, it's a team game.
Well, the Lakers are not about building nobody around each other no more. Yeah.
That's a good
I was surprised last night Boston won because personally I thought Knicks were going to take them out.
I thought so too.
I was so surprised last night.
No, I thought they were gonna lose too. I thought they were gonna
Oh, yeah.
On our Tuesday show, like we all said, yeah, everybody.
It's over.
that done.
Because me and you were on the phone. Remember when he fell down? I said, oh
Yeah.
man, what's wrong with pink
Yeah.
shoes?
Yeah.
He's like,
Oh man.
I said, "Oh,
Yeah,
pink
that's what
shoes,
pieces
man."
again, son.
That's over.
Yep.
So I think we got one last question.
Okay.
I guess everybody here learned a lot today. So what is some advice to our listeners for like up and coming DJs? Like, what's some advice you would give them on like how to get in the game, stay in the game? What's your thoughts on that?
First of all, make sure your craft, before you get out into a club or a public event, make sure you worked on your craft in private before you go out there and embarrass yourself. You know, you got to do that off the top. I mean, I encourage anybody who wants to get into it, get into it. And if you into some kind of music that you don't think the masses are into, you have to be like a practicat and convert them, make them think this is what it is. But you got to be able to do that. That's going to be the trick.
That makes sense.
Yes. Yep.
Be comfortable.
Yeah, just be yourself. Be yourself. Don't let nobody discourage you. Like I told him, I'm in here earlier when we was talking about mixes. What I told about the Serato. I said, yeah. And you told me, well, they went back to the 1200 techniques. I said, they did?
It was just like I said, it was only a few of them.
There's only a few of them.
And I guess they learned from their mentors.
Right.
So, like I said, the guy I was watching, he had I think one of his mentors was a guy out of, I think was Los Angeles.
Okay.
But he also, I think the same guy went to Steve Aiko.
Okay.
Because you know he's a DJ too.
Yep.
And one of his mentors was a guy out of Los Angeles as well.
Right.
So they all learned from like the same master.
Right.
And it was just kind of funny because I was looking at it.
And the Reed's coaching tree.
Yeah.
I mean, but sometimes it's got to be like that. You want to master the styles of the old to get to the new styles and master those as well.
Yeah.
Because the best people that know how to work a crowd, like I say, DJ got to know how to control the crowd. You got to know how to, for instance, blend. Then your music from one style to another.
Right.
Like
Right.
we were talking earlier about the BPMs and things like that. So you have to find out what that is first.
Right.
Then it's like, okay, can I do this? Can I hear the difference? Can I understand when it's time to change over? Can I figure
Well,
out?
you can start telling by the amount of people on the dance floor.
Yes.
But you got to read the crowd. Now, how you gonna read the crowd? Have your playlist ready to go. You have to be prepared. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to the old school dudes who said turn around like Tony Groove to this day, still flipping through CDs and albums behind him. It's like, man, I got 2 minutes on this song. I got to turn back around and work that crowd. Yeah, it's a job to it.
I got one more thing before we go ahead and wrap it up. You mentioned how the local area doesn't have a club, which is true. We had an experience of.
Well, you mentioned Mona's, but I really don't consider that a club.
No, it's not.
It's like a restaurant.
It's like hole in the
A sit
wall.
and chill.
It's like sitting
Yeah, that's like
the
it's
main
more of a bar
point.
vibe. It's more of a bar vibe.
Yeah,
than,
sit and chill.
club.
Sit and chill.
It's more like loungy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So,
Mhm.
do you think an actual club could work here? Because I'm not sure how much you see what's going on the internet with East Side, but a lot of people confuse East Side to be East Side on the Circle. Exactly. They confuse them to be a club when they're a bar. And there's different etiquettes in between.
But I see Mike B coming there, right? I see on Facebook Mike B is coming to East Side Daiquiris.
Well, that's new to me because I mean there's some other things kind of going on, but I just think, do you feel like a real club could actually work here in the midst of
everything that's happening?
There you go.
Yes.
The city's going to become safe. You know, before, how old was your kids?
11.
So, for 7 years, she wants to go out. Do you feel safe letting her go out right now?
I wish.
So, our surroundings got to get together. And that has to start with the city officials, the police, the interaction between the police and us.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I think some outside stuff gotta happen before we can really have a club. They got the bootlegger thing going on down there on Jackson Street, but that's not for us.
Right.
They were
That's not for us.
They were in Lafayette when I was in Lafayette, and it's the same.
It's not for you. Yeah. So what I'm saying is the relationships in the city have to improve. So 6 or 7 years from now, Dad, I'm going out tonight. He still ain't gonna go to bed. He's still gonna sit up and watch TV till she get back.
Right.
But you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah. Right. So I think that's going to change.
Well, do you have any questions for us? Anything at all?
So let me ask you this, Marty. You doing this podcast thing? What you year 3, year 4 now?
I started solo in 2018.
Okay.
Then tell me when did we do I think we did our episode like 2019.
19 probably, right before COVID.
So we're looking at 6 years now.
Coming up on 6 years, and I did take a break in between to recalibrate.
Right.
But I started solo individual, and the Perspective podcast actually started with like one-on-one interviews. So this episode is kind of like getting back to the core essence of it. But Tevin came on in 19. Then whenever I came back home and we found the building, that's when we were able to expound a bit
Exactly.
and everything.
I want to congratulate you guys, man.
Thank you.
I mean, this is really some of the ways that the city can get better on the outside, so she can go out 6 or 7 years. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? That we do have intelligent things going on. We ain't all hood all the time. Now, we can get out in the gut if we want to.
Absolutely.
But we know how to come back in.
I love it. I mean, black tea and gold chains.
Yes, sir.
Most definitely. Thank you so much.
No problem. Thank y'all for having me,
No
man.
problem at all. Ladies and gentlemen, episode 60 of the Perspective Podcast, Jay Superstar Stevens.
Thank y'all.
Yeah. Thank you, man.
No, thank y'all, man. Appreciate it.
You.
Man, what you doing that nearest over there, Mark?
I told you I'd be on it.
I be trying to get him off.